Welcome to the Anderson and Lindhardt Show. This is episode 32. In this episode, we sit down with our good friend Josh Norwood. We get a little life update from him, discuss the importance of putting your trust in God, and talk about his podcast, Cool Things, which he just launched with his friend Jordan. Go check his podcast out. It's up on Spotify. Just search Cool Space Things, and it should be right up there. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode. God bless you and your family.
Welcome back, Anderson and Lindhardt Nation. We're excited to bring one of our good friends, Elder Norwood, or formerly Elder Norwood, now Joshua. How's it going, Josh? Or do you go by Josh, Joshua?
You can call me Josh in the real world.
Okay.
I'm doing good. I'm glad that I've been able to finally get on the show.
I know
we've been talking about it for a while. I remember when it first started. I was super hyped. Like I always enjoyed talking to you guys when we would go on exchanges or anything like that. And I've always looked up to you guys. You guys have always been good friends. So, I mean, it's been good. I haven't listened to every single episode. I'll be 100% honest, but I do hop on a lot, especially when I'm working out.
Heck yeah.
Listen to a lot. On my way back from Texas this summer, I listened to a couple of the episodes, and it just they slap. They're good.
Dude, we appreciate that. Thank you. It honestly means a lot, to hear people who are listening in or tuning in, or even just, catching a few minutes of episodes here and there. Everything means a lot. So yeah, dude, that means a lot. Thank you.
Me and Reese will send each other screenshots or just yo, so-and-so reached out to me, said they listened to the podcast, and we'll just both be super hyped. So we appreciate, and you're one of the OG followers. You were shouting us out on your stories and stuff. So we appreciate it. And so we're excited to, be able to repay that and have you on and be able to also, get to know you a little bit more, and hopefully you can teach us a little bit about some of the things that you got going on and expertise, whatever that you
can
have.
Make up. You can make up any word you want.
I make up words all the time.
He does. Well, I kind of
scrupulosity,
dude. You're nailing it. That's what I'm talking about. So I want to know, dude, how was summer sales? Just what are some of your initial thoughts about it? Are you going to do it again? I don't know. I'm just always curious to know how other people experienced it.
No, for sure. So I think I'll start off by just right off the bat, I'm very neutral towards it, which is kind of weird because I'm not typically neutral towards things. So I feel like I'm either I freaking love something or I absolutely hate it.
And that's how with summer sales, especially, most people are oh, it's the best, so awesome, get tons of money. And other people are they leave early on the summer and they're I'm never doing that again.
Exactly. So that's why I have been kind of weirded out with myself, because I've heard my friends, they're either dude, it was awesome, or dude, I hate it, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
So after the summer, I mean, there were moments during it that I was oh my gosh, this is rough. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Other days I'm dude, this is awesome. I could totally do this.
Dude, I feel that.
But
what were you selling again?
Pest control.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now I feel pretty neutral. I haven't really thought too much about doing it again. I think I will, just because I think it'll look pretty good on a resume for medical school, and it's really good skills. I mean, I learned a lot, definitely helped me grow. But yeah, so I liked it. It was pretty fun. I went out with a little bit smaller of a company, and it was some really good friends from high school that were selling there. So kind of was already tied in.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice. Was able to have a nice, easy transition. Was able to go out with people that I know. They had this team psychologist. Super sick.
Really?
Stratton. I don't think Stratton will ever hear this, but Stratton Nilsson, he was such a good guy. He definitely is one of the reasons why I went with that company.
Is he the psychologist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he he would just like do like team meetings with us and like do different trainings, but also he had like one-on-one sit downs. And I think that's honestly where I had some of like the biggest growth, was by sitting down one-on-one with him and just talking about how I felt, what I was worried about, whether it be goals or just something personal that I was going through, or like something that I was scared of. So I don't know. I think that Stratton was definitely like one of the best things that I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely go back. But yeah, I mean, made some good money as well. So
dude, that would be helpful. Like I needed a freaking psychologist out there. Where did you sell in Texas?
So I was in San Antonio for most. So actually it got a little bit weird. So in San Antonio, it's a super saturated market. Like tons of people are out there. So when we were selling out there at the beginning of the season, it was pretty good. Not very many people were there, but near the end, I think we had like a month and a half left. A ton of people from Moxie, which is just another pest control company. They're a little bit bigger. They sent like a ton of people to San Antonio just out of nowhere. So then we started going through neighborhoods and people were like, oh no, yeah, people already came by. And so it was super saturated. Then the owners, they were doing some market research and they found this little place down on the border of Mexico called Laredo, Texas. And down there were no knocking companies. So we went down there and we did pretty good down there, but I don't speak Spanish. So there's a lot of people that I'd run into that I was just like, I don't know what you're saying. But so then that's where I finished off the rest of the season.
It's frozen.
Loading.
What's up, Carter?
How's it going?
Hey, bro, you froze, so you're gonna have to start that over.
Your face looks good though in the frozen.
Yeah, you guys still there? I think I froze a little bit.
Yeah, you froze. We're still here. You're still frozen, but I just heard you, so I don't know how Zoom works. Oh, there you are. He's
okay,
back.
There we go.
Back. What's up?
Yeah, it says it's unstable.
Uh-oh, unstable.
That's the good Provo Wi-Fi right there.
So we left off. You were just saying you left off the summer. You finished off the summer in that little border town.
Yep, and that's it. From there, drove all the way back to Utah.
Nice.
Here you go. So are you going to school right now and then you're just like focusing on school because you did summer sales so you don't have to work while you're going to school?
Yeah. So so it was a little bit, so what I was going to do, I was probably going to get a job when I came back, but since I made a little bit more than I thought I would, I was able to kind of take off this semester, which is a good thing because I had some switch ups with my classes. And like changes in career path where now I need to take a lot more classes than I thought. And so it worked out. Now I'm not working right now, but I'm taking a lot more credits. And then I'll probably get a job later in the year. I don't know, just kind of wherever the job scenario takes me. Cause right now I kind of just want to relax. Like I worked for 3 months every single day, especially during the summer. And then, so mainly just school.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Like, because it's not just like working every day, it's working like every day, all day. And not to mention it's physical. Like people don't think of it as physical labor, but it totally is. Like walking, who knows, like on a short day, you probably walk 5 miles. And on a day where no one's answering, you probably walk like twice that, And it's like in San Antonio, oh my gosh, I was in San Antonio last summer and it's freaking hot there. It's like in the hundreds every day. And so, yeah, dude, that's intense. Yeah, definitely give yourself a breather. That's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
I have like a day where I like plan my lesson in seminary till 12 o'clock and I'm like, whew, I need a break.
No, dude, I sometimes think I'm like, man, I got to like put myself back in the summer sales days where I was literally working all day because the job I just had, I was just working part-time hours. So it was like 5 hours a day. And after the hour 4, I'm like, I'm so freaking done with this. But it's like, but in pest control, it was like hour 8 and you still have like an hour and a half left. You're just like going so long, but definitely a lot to learn from it though. So it's good to hear.
So what are you studying at school?
Yeah, so I am still, so I never changed my major, but I changed my end goal. So first of all, I'm doing public health, community health.
So you can take Dr. Fauci's job.
Yeah, who's Dr. Fauci? I don't.
No, he's just.
Or is he just like big, like?
He's
Wait, are you actually being serious? You don't know?
No, yeah, I don't. I actually don't like.
Good, you don't want to know. He's not really a doctor. He's more a politician than a doctor, and he's full of crap.
He's like the main guy that's been pushing COVID the whole time. Anyway, that's crazy. You've never like. He's been like,
God bless you for not knowing who he is. He's a chump.
No, I bet people listening to this are like, what the freak?
They probably think you're joking.
You the one
you're
that
better
would say what the cheese? Was that you?
I think I would say that a little bit.
That was
yeah. I actually haven't said that for years now that I think about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Anyways, so what are you
Wait, time out.
Wait.
You've been home for 2 years now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
I think like a couple of days ago.
I was gonna say, because you were the August group. Woo.
Yeah, when did we? It was like the 29th.
I thought it was the end of August that y'all went.
Did you go home mid transfer? Or did you stay the whole transfer?
I stayed the whole transfer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, that was like the trunkiest 3 weeks of my life. Like,
oh yeah, because all your group left.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to go home. Just because
was that when you were
left.
with Elder Jennings still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightfoot.
Yeah. Yep, Lightfoot.
Dude, that's insane. Yeah, I was just telling Carter before you got on, we were just chatting, and I was like, yeah, right after my mission, which was almost 2 years ago, and I'm like, that's freaky to say.
I know.
We've been out of high school for as long as we were in high school, and now we've been home from our missions as long as we were on missions, and it's just weird. My little brother's leaving on a mission. Like, he goes to the MTC in 2 weeks. They're gonna start the MTC at home for a couple of days, for like a week, and then they go in the actual MTC, and then he's actually going to Texas, Fort Worth.
Oh, there we go.
But dude, it's crazy because I'm like, dang, like when I left on my mission, he was like, I don't even think he was a freshman.
8th grade.
I think he was going to be a freshman in high school, or he was in 8th grade, something like that.
And now he's going on a mission.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd how fast time goes.
Yeah, anyways. And I feel like the last 2 years have gone by way faster than the 2 years of the mission went.
No way.
I agree.
No way. This is the slowest.
No, I agree with Josh. 100%.
It's because you're married.
Yeah, I'm not married, and
I guess that's true.
It's freaking been light speed, bro.
Dude, right. Facts.
Okay, what have you been doing to make the time go by so fast? I'm jealous. Dude, I need to get your tips.
I have no idea.
Dude, honestly. I got COVID, and boom, this week has gone by so fast, for real.
Yeah, man, just get sick.
Okay.
Yeah, get sick, bro, when it goes by, because all you do is freaking stare at your screen. My screen time is up like 43%. I got the notification. It's like, your weekly screen time is up like 43%. I'm like,
you feel like such a pile. You're like,
yeah, I'm like, gosh, dang it. I looked at it. It was like YouTube 3 hours. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Every time it goes down by like 2%, it's like your screen time is down 2%. I'm like, that's what's up. You know me. Self mastery master.
Yeah, I'm out here balling, man.
And then every time it's like up like 13%, I like just close it down and pretend like I didn't even see it.
Yeah, like I didn't even see it.
I'm like ashamed of myself. Dang it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I don't know how the time's traveled so fast. I guess dude, I honestly don't know. I think I've been doing a lot of the same things that you've been doing.
Dating a bunch of girls?
No, actually, I don't know. I've gone on a lot of dates, but just nobody I really want to spend a lot of time with. Like haven't found like the right type of person yet. Dude, I don't know.
Boys, listen. So this week, Josh, I got COVID last week, and I'm like, still, you might hear it in my voice, like I'm almost better. Like today I felt better than I have all day or all week, but I still have some congestion and whatnot, and I can't taste or smell anything, and it sucks.
That is the worst part.
It is the worst symptom. Like dude, we had Olive Garden tonight, my wife and I, and like we just got takeout, and I was just eating it, and she turned over and I thought she was going to ask me how it was. And I was like, don't even ask. It literally, you like can't anything. Anyways, besides that, so I got COVID. So obviously I didn't go to work. And then my wife's work was like freaking out. So they're like, no, you got to stay home and quarantine. And now she has it. Like she just tested positive yesterday. But
she did?
Yeah. Her symptoms she's still dealing with some, but it's not as bad.
I guess I have to quarantine with her too for another 2 weeks.
No, seriously, man. So, but here's what I was going to say though. After, I think it's been, today was our 7th or 8th day, like all day, it's just me and her in our apartment. And like, after this much time spending with her, it's like, I don't want it to end. And I was like, that's the girl you want to find. It's like you're quarantined for over a week and you hope it never ends because it's so fantastic. And like, you don't get tired of each other. And sure, there's times where like we're doing our own thing, but I love being with her. And it's like, yeah, if you find a girl who you get kind of annoyed of after being with her for a couple hours, then like run. She's not it.
Just run away.
Just get out of there, man.
No. Yeah. I think that's definitely the biggest thing that I've been looking for recently is I don't know. I feel like in the last 2 years, everything like, how you're like make a list of like all the attributes and everything that you I
feel like that's like a mission. Like everyone thinks it's like a requirement, and it kind of is with like the My Plan stuff, but like every missionary just like takes it to an extreme where they're like writing out like super detailed what their wife's gonna be like when they come home.
5'5", absolutely coordinated with their left hand, plays basketball, like
has 2,000 followers on Instagram.
And I was pretty specific.
I mean, I think it's good to be specific. Right. I feel like sometimes I'm a little too picky, but I mean, that's something that I want to be picky about. Like buying a car, I don't care, whatever, like good gas mileage, awesome. But like, I feel like my future wife, I definitely going to be picky. Like what I've told myself is like, I am completely fine waiting until I'm like 30 if I find like the best person for me. 30 is a long ways away, but
maybe I need to have that attitude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It hasn't really been working so far, but
well, I mean, mine hasn't been working either. So maybe we find a middle ground.
Yeah, we need to recalibrate.
Hey, peasants.
So I'm curious. What are some of the things that you're looking for? I'm just curious.
No, yeah. So I actually, oh man, I did have like that super long list, but recently I actually think I was talking to some of my friends down in Texas, and they asked me the same thing. So like they were married. Mm-hmm. I would have them over because they would come over to our apartment and cook dinner and whatnot. So I think some of the biggest things is that, like just that we can spend a lot of time together and that we just don't really get tired of each other. I'm sure like, Reese, I'm sure you and your wife, you do kind of like, all right, we got to take a break. Like,
yeah, like you take your own time. Like she'll go read and I'll go like put my headphones on. So you definitely have your alone time, but yeah.
Exactly. But like I was saying that like, when they leave or like when I'm like hanging out with them, then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm gonna miss you. Bye. Or something like that. Just that I like spending time with them, obviously, because eternity is a long time. So I want to be able to enjoy that.
Dude, leaving at night. Me and Carter used to talk about this. Like when I was dating Riley, and I don't think Carter was dating anyone then.
I think it was like weird because like I was going through it while I was in Rexburg, and so I'd like talk to you a little bit about it. I'm like, dude, coming home at night sucks. And then you started dating Riley, and then I broke up with my okay.
Like it would be late because like I would be knocking doors, until dark. I would usually hop off a little bit before dark. So like around 8 o'clock, I hop off, drive to Riley's house. If I was in Virginia Beach, she's in Hampton, it's like 45 minutes. Get there. And then her mom would get like, I would always eat dinner at Riley's house, just eat leftovers. And then, then it's already 9:30. And then by midnight, it's like, dang, I got to go get some sleep. And so that was the worst, like looking at the clock and being like, oh, I got to go. Like I have to drive home. Like this sucks so bad.
Those drive homes, you just get in your feels real hard. You just turn on like some
music.
Yeah, dude.
Dang. So besides like enjoying spending time with them, what are some like qualities?
I think like obviously kind of like hobby wise, they've got to love the outdoors. Like I'm a big outdoors person. So I think that's definitely something that I look for. Not that they're like super hippie, like granola, crazy. I don't know.
I like how that's the first thing you say when a hippie is granola.
Yeah. Dude, I was watching, I was watching Rhett and Link. I watch Good Mythical Morning on YouTube a lot.
Dude, they're hilarious.
They're so funny, dude.
But, I said Rhett and Link, Good Mythical Morning, my seminary class today. Not a single kid, 28 kids knew who they were. I was like, are you guys kidding
me? Dude, that's
me?
kind of, wow, that's crazy. Because I guess that's more like our generation. Because I've been watching them since like my sophomore year of high school.
I've been watching them since like junior
high. And I knew about them way before. Yeah, I knew about them in middle school because they would sing those funny songs and whatnot. Anyways, I was watching Good Mythical More, actually, which, you know, is show after show. It's just more chill. And they were trying those sugar cookies that are just like frosted sugar cookies that you buy like at Walmart in the front. And they're made in Utah.
Really?
Yeah. And so they got them and they're like, made in Utah. And then Link said, I guess it was either Mormons or granolas who made these then. And then he said, sorry, Utah, but that's how I just generalize you in my head. You're either Mormon or granola or both.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm more both. Like, anyways, that's funny you say that.
No, yeah. So I think that's one big thing. And then also just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put into words, but you can just kind of like feel it when you're with someone, just like the chemistry.
100%.
Like, you can just feel that it just kind of like meshes and goes well. I think that's something that I think I've like felt little bits, like had little previews in the past going on a lot of dates, but I don't think I've like actually, I mean, because if I did already find that, I would be married by now. But I think that chemistry is one of the biggest things. Because like I think about it with like relationships that I have with like my little brother or like my family or my friends. That's like one of the biggest things that I like is that chemistry, that connection that I have with them.
It's almost just natural.
Yeah, it's just natural, comfortable with them. I can spend time with them, talk to them about anything, do anything. Like, does not matter what activity it is, whether you're just like sitting there doing crosswords, you're like outside playing golf. Like, you just have like a fun time. And I mean, not always will be super fun, but that chemistry there just kind of like helps it go a little bit better.
All right. I'm curious, what's your best date idea? Like, what's your go-to like date that you feel like can build that chemistry, but also you can have fun? So
one that I've really been liking recently, and I did this a lot in the past. I haven't gone on too many dates now because I'm just so busy.
It's gonna be like, I just head up to Squaw Peak and no,
I've actually never been to Squaw Peak.
There you go. Good for you.
That's a good
Carter's not outdoorsy.
The Squaw Peak is a makeout point in Provo.
Oh,
so it was.
I think like painting. I actually really do like painting. We like either do like a Bob Ross or like sunset or something, because like I said, I really like nature. I feel like God's gift is definitely one of the best things that like we've been given, and I just love a good sunset, you know. So I think painting, it's been super fun. Like, you just sit there, you talk, you can turn on music. I mean, you can figure out what kind of music they like. I know music is a big deal breaker for a lot of people. But yeah, painting's fun. You kind of just get to know a little bit more about them. And then typically my paintings are pretty bad. So I'm not really happy about them, and the girl's always a little bit better.
There you go.
So and then you can compliment her.
Exactly. Like, and you get to go home with something. You have a painting. So
do you give it to them?
No. So I actually keep it for me.
Okay.
Me and my buddies, we actually kind of do the painting date a lot. So we have like this massive wall.
That's awesome.
So it's been getting stacked up recently.
Girls come over and they're like, "Oh, what are these?" You're like, "Don't worry."
Yeah, we're like, "Oh, we just love painting." They're like, "Oh, that's so cool."
You guys are so in touch with your like just creative side. You're like, "Yeah, I know. We're just so
Exactly.
creative."
And then
It's a win-win
it's so
situation.
exactly.
Either you get married or you look like a creative like baller. That's sweet.
Yeah, there you go.
One of the things that I've done is I it's weird that you say that because that's one of the things that I do, except we'll go to like some place where it's like cool nature, but then we'll do paint self-portraits of each other.
Dude,
And it's like super funny, like just seeing like the things that you like paint of each other. And obviously it looks horrible, but it's just like a fun way to like kind of have something to do while you're talking, getting to know each other. But I always give them the painting. So maybe I should keep my paintings of them so then I can have all the girls that I painted just on my
Dude,
wall.
I mean, I do like that idea. At the same time, I feel like having a lot of pictures of you, just like different paintings, that's also kind of sick. Like you can just be like,
oh, true, yeah.
Like you just have a lot of different paintings of yourself, and
they're different depictions of what they
exactly.
You can make like a pop art where it's like 4 different portraits, put them on the wall.
Yeah,
that look kind of cool.
That'd be kind of sick.
All right, I guess I'm gonna need to start going on more painting dates so I can get some more going.
Yeah, you've got to do it. One a week.
Cool.
Dude, it's so weird. Like it's fun listening to you guys like talk about it, but I don't know. I just think like it's so interesting to me that, life, you just never know what life's going to bring you because, I never thought I would get married when I was 21. And yeah, I don't know. I just never thought I would find my wife this fast. But I'm sure, I don't know. It's just like, you just don't know, you don't know what life's going to bring you. And it's funny how you can plan and plan and plan. And then, but you honestly never know what the day is going to bring you. Even to small things. Like today I was driving down to Olive Garden. I live up on Hill Field Road in Layton. So it's up on the hill. Like you can see Great Salt Lake and everything. So I was driving down the hill and there was like strikes of lightning, like going all the way down to the treetops and like loud thunder. There was a rainbow on the mountainside. And then if you looked over to the lake, it was like sunny. And it's just like, see, I woke up this morning not knowing I was going to see this epic view today. So just even like little things like that. And then the big things like, you never knew you were going to meet the love of your life that day or whatever it is. And it's just really a good reminder to just live in the moment. And I guess that's where my mind's going right now, just because lately I've been getting kind of ahead of myself and feeling some of that anxiety of like, crap, like I'm on my own now. Like I'm growing up, like mom and dad aren't always going to be here for me now. We're in that stage of life where we're growing up, and it can be kind of scary, but I'm just reminding myself, hey, look, you don't know who you're going to bump into tomorrow. You might bump into your future business partner tomorrow or your future employer tomorrow. So it's like, just stay patient, keep doing what you're doing, have a plan and be moving forward to that plan, but remain open to whatever comes because you don't know.
Yeah, I actually really like what you're saying. I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned from summer sales. I think I did not want to do summer sales. Like that was like the number one job I did not want to do. I didn't like knocking doors on my mission. I remember, Reese, you actually came to me when we had just like been home for a little bit. I don't know how long we had been home, but you're like, hey man, do you want to do summer sales? And I was like, no.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm like, oh man, no, I'm super busy. Sorry. Yeah. Like I was throwing smoke screens at you.
Dude, now you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then I, like coming around this year, I just felt like nothing was working out. Like I just felt like I just kept hitting dead ends. I obviously have a plan, trying to fulfill that plan, but I just didn't really know. Like I said, I felt kind of neutral. But then I don't even know, like I think what started it was I was actually going to go sell for a different company. And I was talking to the guy, just kind of like putting my toe in the water, not really committing. But next thing I know, I had signed all the paperwork and I was selling for that company. I was like, what the heck? But I told him like, hey man, sorry, I've got to back out. I don't want to do it. Ended up going with the company that I was going for and that I sold for this year. From
You just
there,
sign, get the signing bonus, and then leave. Thank
yeah,
you.
I just like, all right, give me that check and let's go. But yeah, so when I did all of that, then I was like, all right, I really feel like this is something that would be good. I feel like I should go through with it. And just kind of took a leap of faith and went for it. And then when I was down there, I was talking to Stratton, and he was, I think it was like our first one-on-one meeting, and we talked about like trust. And I I learned that trust is like one of the biggest things that I needed to learn. And I don't know if I just needed to sell for that one moment. I didn't know if there was more things, because I feel like some of the days I would just knock doors, just autopilot, not really learn anything. But if there was one thing that I took away from summer, it was that just like trusting in God or trusting in a higher being. It doesn't have to be God, just trusting in something. And trusting that, the path that you're going down right now is what you need to be doing, and that everything does work out. But just kind of have like that end point, do your best, but then just trust that everything else is just going to fall into line. Because like you said, Reese, all we can do is really live in this moment. And that's something that he would say a lot as well. Stratton is focusing on meditation, living in this moment. And from there, all you can do is live in this moment and just do your best, and everything else is going to work out.
I think it's cool that you said that, and I'm the type of person that is always like, I hear something, inspirational and motivational, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I really like how you said, like, I just need to learn how to trust, and that's something I need to build up. So I'm curious, what are some of the things that you do, or that to try and strengthen your ability to trust in God? Because I'd imagine that's probably what you're putting your trust in. What are some of the things that you do to build that up? It sounds like like you said, it was something that you needed to work on, and so obviously it sounds like it's something that you're working on and have worked on, and you've found success in doing so.
Yeah, I think that I think so. To start, I feel like my trust was damaged just kind of like over the years. It's just kind of been like slowly damaged, whether it be somebody does something to me, whether I trusted somebody, they break that trust, whether I don't trust myself. But I feel like the thing that I learned the most was to kind of, something that I would do is that while I was on the doors, I would kind of start feeling scared that like somebody's going to open the door, something was going to happen, that I wasn't going to get the sell or whatever it was. I would just like take a deep breath and just remind myself, like, and I would like look up in the sky and I'd just be like, all right, God, I trust you right now. Whatever happens, I know it's supposed to happen. Here we go. And then I would say that exact thing, and I would just breathe out, and then just whatever would happen, I felt a lot more comfortable with it. I felt a lot more confident. At times I still was scared. Like definitely somebody to open the door, they were like 6'10", 400 pounds. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like freaking grizzly bear at the door right now. And
yeah,
they would not care about anything that I was saying. But since I kind of had like that moment of meditation, I guess you could say,
yeah,
it's kind of like, all right, just restating who I'm trusting in, and that everything's going to be okay. I feel like that was the biggest thing that helped me kind of build my trust. Obviously, I also tried to like trust other people a little bit more. So like when one of my roommates was like, "Oh no, yeah, dude, I'll do the dishes," or "No, I'll pick that up after work," I was just kind of like, "All right, I trust you. I trust that you're going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Let's see. If you don't do it, then I'll do it. But I trust you. I trust whatever you're going to do. Go for it."
yeah, dude. I've been thinking about this like just the past day, which is crazy that it's brought up, because I was thinking my little brother, like I said, he's getting ready to go on a mission, and I haven't talked to him much, but I'm completely assuming that he's kind of freaking out, because that's what I did, and I feel like that's what most missionaries that I talk to.
How much longer does he have till he leave?
Like 2 weeks, I think, till he
so it's
starts the MTC. Yeah, like it's down to the wire. Like he went shopping for all the clothes the other day. Like I remember when that happened, I was just like so out of it. I was like, I can't believe this is this is happening. This is insane. But anyways, I remember, I often forget this just because you kind of remember the highlights of your mission, you know, after.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of my mission, like I was having a hard time. I wasn't like, I had already decided I was going to stay. So there was never thoughts of like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, it wasn't those type of thoughts. It was just like, I can't believe there's two years ahead of me of doing this. And it was very daunting. And so I kept getting this impression as a young missionary to go to the topical guide in our scriptures and study trusting God. And I studied every single scripture for every single morning. In that, like, I studied every scripture in that section every morning for probably 8 weeks. And I remember that's what started to pull me out of this just anxious state that I was constantly living in. Like, I would wake up and just have this feel like I was standing in front of a giant wall. But as I read these scriptures over and over every single day and practice, because it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, well, how do you put trust in somebody or trust in God? And it's like, well, you just do it, and you have to practice. Like, you really have to let go and just trust that everything's going to work out. And anyways, by the end of my time in my first area, all that existential anxiety or whatever it was had melted away, and I felt safe, because I think that's the anxiety system in the brain is triggered when you don't feel safe, you know. And so if you don't feel safe in life, then you're going to have a lot of chronic anxiety. But if you feel safe, then it melts away. And anyways, I honestly feel like I've been having some similar anxious feelings as I did as a young missionary lately. And so I've been consciously reminding myself of this lately. Like, I just need to trust in God, trust that everything's working out the way it's supposed to. And it almost feels like now if you have that trust, it feels like a safety net. I don't know. To me, it feels like I have a safety net. And so it's like, okay, even if I fall, you know, figuratively speaking, I'm going to be okay, you know?
It's interesting how we're talking about this, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's like there's been too many experiences in my life where it's like I know everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. Like, there's just been too many experiences where it's like I know God's plan is perfect. I know everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to, but it's still hard to like find that trust sometimes because you don't know how it's going to work out right now. So I'm curious, what are some of the things that you guys do to kind of like push past some of those thoughts where it's like you don't know how it's going to work out, but it's like I know it's weird. You don't know how it's going to work out, but you know it's going to work out, but it still causes you like a little bit of anxiety or stress because you don't know. And so like it stops you from fully trusting. Does that make any sense? Or is that even a relatable thought? Because like for me, that's something, it's like, oh man, like God, I know it's going to work out, but I just don't know how. And it just like stresses me out.
No, I think that makes sense. I think one thing I do is I'll look at what the aim is that I'm working towards, and then I'll think of the small sizable things that I can do in the moment. So it's back to like the present thing. Mm-hmm. What can I do right now to make sure that happens? So like right now I just left my job this week, and it's like, that's kind of scary because, you know, it's not like I can just be jobless for a while with bills to pay. So it's like, okay, I got to be looking for a job. And so it's a little bit stressful, and I've had some of those feelings come up, but it's like, instead of freaking out, I can just be like, all right, what are the small things I can do today in this moment to get closer to getting a job? And it's like, oh, well, I can, you know, renew my resume, or I can hop on Indeed, or I can call some businesses around town and ask them if they're hiring. So it's like, I can work on those small little things. And though that may be hard to make yourself do that, but at the end of the day, when you've done your small little steps, you're going to rest easy at night because you're like, all right, I'm doing what I can do.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I'm glad you brought that up because at first I was kind of like, I don't know, what do I do? But then I think I started.
Who goes there?
I think you can see one of my roommates right there. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you sure you can come in?
Yeah, dude, come in.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is actually the friend that I do the podcast with.
Dude, sick. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's
Yes, sir.
nothing too crazy. It's just kind of for fun. But
Dude, same. We're gonna be famous together, I guess.
Oh yeah, let's go. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I do is that I kind of just take it step by step as well. Like I feel like I try to always take too big of steps too fast. For example, I think right now the biggest thing that I've kind of been falling into another slump of like freaking out. So like I said, I had to switch up my classes.
Yeah, we never got to that.
Yeah, so here I'll just do like a really quick breakdown.
Okay.
So I was going public health, hospital administration. I didn't want to go to medical school, but I do still want to like help with public health, helping people in the health field. Then one day I was watching like Cobra Kai. I don't know if you guys have watched that. It's like the Netflix series of Karate Kid.
Yeah, I do know what it is though, but I haven't watched
Yeah.
it.
So Daniel LaRusso, I think that's his name.
That's the Karate Kid, right?
Yeah. So he is grown up in this TV show. He is now a car salesman. So they kind of talk about him, why he's a car salesman and what he does, and why he does it. He talks about the time that Mr. Miyagi gave him a car and how he felt that joy and how he wants to help other people feel that joy.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment, I was kind of thinking about purpose and my purpose and what I could do and how I could help people. Like I said, I felt very neutral of like, I could be a hospital administrator, also whatever, like don't really feel too strongly about it. But then in that moment, I was kind of like, you know what? Maybe I should try to go to medical school. Maybe I should try to become a physician. I'm just going to try for it. So I completely switched up my end goal, which then made it so that I had to like take all these different classes, take a different anatomy class, take a different chemistry class. And now my schedule is super, super stacked. So recently, like I just barely had lab today and I was super stressed out about the anatomy lab. Like you have to take a quiz, you have all these different things you have to memorize.
Anatomy is no joke. That class is tough.
Yeah, and it's been kicking my butt so
Bro,
far.
do you guys see cadavers?
So we haven't yet. We will though in a couple of weeks. It's kind of weird. We walked into the cadaver room today, and
Does it smell weird?
It actually didn't smell like bad at all. I think it's because they haven't been opened up yet. But I look over and you can like see the body bags. You just like, I'm like, there's something in there.
I couldn't do that.
It just moves.
No, yeah, that's what I'm scared of. Because, like, in movies, you always see like actors. Actors are the dead people,
right?
And it just kind of freaks me out a little bit. But I'll get used to it, right?
Sure.
But yeah, like I was saying, recently I've kind of just been like stressing out, like, oh my gosh, can I memorize all this? Is this going to be possible? Am I going to make it into medical school? Like, if I get a bad grade on this quiz, I'm then going to get a bad grade in the class. Started freaking out, and I haven't really been doing too well at this, but kind of talking about it right now has reminded me that I just need to kind of focus on, you know what? Today, I can spend an hour on memorizing this. Today, I just need to do these assignments. I just need to, study for this amount of time, and that's what I'm going to do today. And if I fulfill that, then I reach my goals for the day. I'm that much better, even if I'm just 1% smarter, 1% like memorize just a little bit more, then that's a successful day. Mm-hmm. Just because I was getting like in the habit of just like I said, trying to take too big of steps. So slowing it down, just trusting in God that like this is all happening for a reason and that I will be able to do it. I just need to, set my goals, go at my own pace.
I really like that. It's like, I remember like Reese talking about like that feeling of that 2 years, just like feeling like a billion pounds on your back. And I remember, I don't even know, it's just so interesting, like how the spirit works, but like the spirit would just teach me, he's like, you need to finish today to get to tomorrow, and you need to finish tomorrow to get to the next day, and you need to finish, all these days to get to the end of the 2 years. And so it was interesting because like the spirit taught me like subconsciously like this way for you to like obviously focus on the end goal. Like your end goal is to, you know, have a really successful mission and to do your best, but to be able to like help kind of ease that stress. And it's interesting as you like do that more and more. And like you said, Josh, I think it's like a lot of the times me and Reese are talking and we'll just have these epiphanies for ourselves. So it's kind of funny. Like I feel like sometimes we're just talking more so for ourselves because we need to figure out our thoughts in our head. But like you said, like it's a good reminder to me to, you know, you can't, you know, finish medical school tomorrow. You have to, you know, finish today's quiz and, you know, study the things you need to be able to, you know the things next week that you needed. Anyway, it's just like crazy how when you do take a step back, it almost takes the pressure off a little bit. So I really like that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Dude, facts. Well, so moving on, your podcast, dude. So you guys have started?
Yeah. So we're still trying to figure out like how to get it on other platforms.
Ask Carter.
On Spotify right now.
Oh, cool. Wait, what's it called, bro? I'm gonna subscribe.
I don't know. It's kind of, so here, let me first tell you what it's about. So
okay.
So my buddy Jordan, he got the idea from just like listening to this one podcast. They just sit down and talk about random stuff. So, and sometimes it's just fun to like listen. I think that's one of the biggest things that I like listening to, like this podcast, other podcasts, just listening to people talk. Like it's just, it's fun. Like I love sitting in a restaurant, listening to people behind me talk. Like it's kind of weird, but
no, that's exactly how I am. I love it.
So that's kind of like the main thing. So Jordan comes to me, he's like, "Hey man, you want to start a podcast?" And I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, what would it even be about? And he was just like, "Oh, anything really." I'm like, "Oh, awesome. Well, that doesn't really cool." So then finally I was just like, "All right, man, let's try it." So we sit down and we kind of just did like a mock podcast where we just talked about random stuff.
Yeah.
It ended up being like kind of funny, kind of entertaining.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it's about. Is just kind of like we'll sit down, we talk about just like random stuff. Like for example, I'll give you a little sneak peek. This week, Kanye just came out with his new album.
Dude, I've been listening to that album so much.
Yeah, dude. So we'll probably be talking about that a lot. We'll also probably talk about like, you know, funny stories that happened to us that week. We do this one thing where we talk about the win that we had in the week.
Ooh,
and also just kind of like a funny fail. So
yeah.
like something, whether it be like, dude, I was walking up the stairs and I completely tripped. All my books went everywhere. Or the W is that like, you know, I did a backflip in front of all these people and got a big round of applause. Like just things like that. That way we're kind of like helping people kind of like see what we're doing. And then also kind of like in the future, we'll kind of have it as like audio journals. So
exactly.
We can look back and be like, "Oh dude, you remember that time in college when we did this?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so then also one thing that we do is that we will also kind of like look at the news and kind of just look at like different stories and just kind of like talk about that. Like for example, there was one where Ronaldo got traded to, I think it's Manchester United, I think. I'm not a big soccer guy, but we saw that and we just talked about it for quite a bit. But yeah, I think some people will think it's boring, but at the same time, can't really please everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so it's called Cool Things because we just talk about cool things. We're going to have a couple other people on the show. Just whoever wants to get on there, we'll just talk about what they like. So if somebody likes talking, dude, yeah, we'll totally have you. Yeah, and we just talk about like, I don't know, if you like camping, we'll talk about camping. If you like shoes,
dude, I like camping. Oh, I like camping, and Carter likes shoes.
I like shoes,
dude. There we go.
I don't like camping.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's called Cool Things. It's kind of hard to find.
Hey.
Oh, there
is this it? Yeah, man, Donda, bro, it's fire. Oh my gosh, dude, I got you, man.
It feels so good when you see your podcast on like an actual podcast platform. You feel like such a baller.
It just
look, there's a boy.
Yeah, there's us shotgunning Red Bulls on the beach.
Nice, bro. Wait, is that or is that in Texas? That's California.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I forgot what else I was gonna say. I think shoot. Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, so my question is, this is like, the most important part of a podcast is like the content, but I just think like the microphones and stuff are cool. So do you guys have any equipment yet, or are you just kind of rocking with like, what's the deal?
So actually my friend, he is already into like music production, like making music.
Dude, you're set.
Everything. So when you listen to that, we add in like beats that he makes.
Oh, no way.
So at the beginning, we messed up on the audio this last time, so the music is really quiet. But kind of what we'll do every week is throw in at the intro, like one of his songs, and we'll just be like, oh, cool. So it's after. Obviously, like you guys know how editing works. Like you throw it in after, you can't hear
Reese
it.
knows how to do it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's my part.
So I was sitting there and I was like waiting for him to start like throwing this beat in.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so what's gonna happen? And then I was like, oh shoot, we can't hear it right now.
Bro,
so,
you put that in post, bro.
No, yeah. So I totally forgot about that. So we put it in later.
Was that the L for the week?
That could have been. Okay. I don't even remember what I said. But yeah, so we put that in there, just kind of like a little taste of like what Jordan's been cooking up in his kitchen. And then we put a song at the end. I think it's going to be the same one that we'll put at the end.
Dude,
but
he should make an intro beat for us.
Dude, he totally could. I actually also have a buddy. I was going to tell you guys. He is majoring in like podcast.
You can major in that?
Like it's like I don't even remember what it's called.
Is it like an undergrad or like a side thing?
No, it's not podcast. It's audio, audio entertainment or something like that. But he was like, dude, let me like edit your podcast. Let me like make your voices sound better, everything. I was like, sorry, dude, like Jordan already does that. But I was like, hey, but I know some guys that
dude, I would totally love to just like after we finish, just send it off. Be like,
oh yeah, and guess what? Best part is he said he'd do it for free, boys. So I got you guys.
Give him my phone number.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So
let's make a group chat, get this thing going. Someone wants to do the graphics for us.
No, actually, I don't know the graphics.
No, I'm just
but here, let me show you the mic.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about mics, but this.
Oh.
So, this is kind of what we do since we just. It's like a MXL 770. I don't know if that really means anything.
I used to have one like that, and then I sold it.
But yeah, so that's the mic that we're talking to right now. We both wear headphones, and we just sit at the table, like since we both are in the same room.
Yeah. We
just sit down, talk, and then after he uses I think it's a system called Ableton.
And I've heard of Ableton. I've actually messed around with that.
So he just uses that, and we'll put in like sound effects of like whenever you can hear it in the podcast of like people cheering or people like boo or like the bleep, like you're beeping out swear words.
That is the funniest thing to me.
So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, the first one's really rough. First episode is super rough. We don't know what we're doing. This Saturday though, we'll be recording and then releasing it pretty early because we're going to be going camping. So, yeah, that's basically it. That's about our podcast. Just kind of for fun, just kind of for future posterity. So my kids kind of just hear like weird stuff that we would do.
Yeah, that was kind of like, because Carter and I, we talked a lot about it before we started, of like why we would want to do it, and one of the main things we talked about was worst case scenario, so to speak. So it's like, okay, worst case scenario, we're the only two people who listen to it in the whole world and no one else ever listens to it. It's just us. But we have this journal, and we have hours and hours recorded of us talking, to which we can listen to down the road, or maybe our kids will hopefully find it entertaining enough to give it a listen. I would, if my dad had a podcast, I would want to listen to it.
Especially like if he was in college type of deal, like exactly. That would be so cool.
And so we were like, if that's the worst case scenario, we already, because Carter and I would call each other when I lived in Virginia, and we would talk like this for hours and then get done and be like, dude, that was 2 hours. What if we recorded that, and just kept it? And so it's like, if that's the worst case scenario, I'll do this like all day, man. I mean, that's a great worst case scenario. And best case scenario is like our moms listen to it,
Exactly.
which kind of my mom listens to them every once in a while,
Yeah.
but yeah, she kind of hates it. No, I'm just kidding. She's my biggest hater, bro. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's kind of fun messing around with like the audio and stuff. I want to get better at it. Like I want to learn more. I also really want to get into, not like, I just kind of want it to be a hobby, but I want to learn how to make cool reels, like quick videos, like in the gym and stuff. Like I want to start off with just a nice Sony camera that can shoot, a good picture and whatnot. But I really want to like hire somebody and get a friend or someone who can come to the gym with me and like record sick videos,
Yeah, dude.
But,
like the one FA made type
yeah,
of
like the one
okay.
FA made. And dude, FA got more footage of me, and I'm gonna text and be like, bro, you worked on that new gym video yet? Because like, dude, those are sick. But I would love to have somebody like that. But I do want to learn more about the audio and stuff, because I don't know, it's just it's a creative avenue, and like being creative. I love being creative. I'm a creative person. And so I have all these creative urges, and sometimes I don't know how to do it. Like I just use iMovie, and like, I'll get on there and I'm like, what the freak am I doing? Like, I'll just mess around, but definitely something I want to get better at.
Yeah.
That's cool. There you go. So for the posterity, what's one thing you'd want to tell your posterity for in closing, wrapping things up? What would you want to tell them, Josh?
I think the biggest thing I would want to tell them is just that, life is hard. It really is. It's not going to be super fun all the time. You're going to look back and you're always going to remember the fun times. Those are what really sticks out. It's kind of what Reese was saying about the mission. That's kind of what you remember. Even, I've had times where I've had like just a terrible, terrible day or terrible week. A week, month later, a couple years later, I look back and I'm like, you know what? Those were good times. Like when my first job, when I was working fast food, I look back on it now.
Wait, dude, where did you work?
I started at JCW's.
Oh,
what the heck is that?
You haven't heard of JCW's?
Do you not have that?
Dude, I'm from Logan, bro.
No, I know. I thought they would have it up there.
Nah, dude, that's a hick town.
No, it's just a burger joint. So
dude, I worked at Burger King, man, in high school.
Dude, it sucks when you're doing it, right? It's terrible. But looking
like
back,
the worst job ever.
Looking back, I think of like all those fun times where, well, kind of fun, where college football would be playing. They would just have like 80s rock bumping, and I would just.
That's all we played was 80s.
Yeah, I'd just be like cleaning tables, watching college football, and just like listening to 80s rock. And I was just like hating it at the moment, but looking back, I'm like, you know what? Those were good times.
Yeah, facts.
I feel like that's, life is hard. Life is going to be hard. It's meant to be hard, because if it wasn't hard, we wouldn't learn at all. But in the end, to just, stay positive, choose to be happy. Really, we are the only people that are in control of our happiness. So choose to be happy enjoy the journey, and then also just trust in God, or trust in something, trust in someone. Doesn't matter if it's me, doesn't matter if it's God or just, your neighbor down the street. Just have that trust and do your best, because it does all work out in the end. And I know right now, I don't feel like I've reached the end, but I do have faith that it is going to work out in the end.
I love that. That's fire. I feel like I'm listening to like a prophet or apostle here. This is like general talk. There you go. Well, I just wanted to thank you. I remember I can't even remember if I thanked you for this or not, but I remember our first exchange that we went on when I came down to, you were in Lightfoot, right? That's where you were?
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know why, but I just had like so much anxiety before that exchange. I don't know what it was, but I was just like so anxious for that exchange. And I just remember, like we had just merged missions. We had just, there's just a lot going on, a lot of stressors, a lot of, all three of us were, pretty close to going home. So we're thinking about that. There's just a lot going on. And I just remember like during that exchange, just listening to you talk and just kind of some of the things that we were talking about, like it was crazy, like how much my heart was softened, like just throughout that whole exchange. And so I just wanted to thank you for that. I don't remember like a specific moment or whatever, but I just remember like it was like such an anxious time, like leading up to like driving down or whatever. And, just coming back, feeling like my heart was just like so much softer and I was just in such a better place after that. So I just wanted to thank you for that, because that was something that I definitely needed at that time. So I've always looked up to you ever since then. I was just like, man, he's the man. He just helped me out and he wasn't even trying. And it was just like so cool. I mean, you probably were trying, but you were just being yourself, and it just helped me out. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Dude. Yeah, thank you. That definitely makes me feel good. It's always moments like that you always love hearing that from people. So thanks, Carter.
You're welcome.
Dude, and then I just got to share one memory real fast. So Josh, when you were made zone leader, it was like one of the first zone conferences you were conducting. It was still with the weeds. Like this was a minute ago.
Wait, where were you at?
I was in Portsmouth. So this would have been in April.
Back when he was the assistant to the president.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyways, I was with Elder Thornock at the time, and it was like starting to get hot outside, and I guess the weeds or whatever asked you to bring up staying hydrated to the elders and sisters, and you were like, elders and sisters, just it's getting hot outside, make sure you're staying hydrated. And then you said hydration nation. That's what I like to say. And it was just like,
I did not remember that,
dude. It was freaking funny because like I just remember looking at Sister Weed, and she wasn't mad, but she just kind of like gave like a little chuckle and like, oh, Elder Norwood, like that type of vibe. And I just remember being like, this dude is freaking funny. Like I didn't really know you yet. But it was just it was like dry humor, and that's like right up my alley. That dry humor, just like, delivering lines like it's no one's business. Cheese, like, dude, so funny. Yeah. So anyways, man, we love you. We appreciate you for doing this. It's past my bedtime, so I'm kind of tired, but
we'll definitely have to continue to collaborate.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
So if you ever, I mean, I don't know if you and Jordan can hook us up remotely or something, but we can figure something out. We'd love to be on y'all's podcast. And everybody go onto Spotify. If you don't use Spotify, you're missing out big time.
We're trying to get it on Apple Podcasts and everything. We're having a big problem right now.
I just searched.
Good luck.
Yeah, ask Carter with that. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, I just searched cool space things. It's not focusing, and it was the first or second thing to come up. So yeah, here's what it looks like for those who are watching. Go look it up on Spotify. Cool things, and dude, I'm gonna give that a listen tomorrow for sure.
There we go.
Sweet. All right. Hey, Anderson Lindhardt Nation, we love y'all. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. We'll drop the Spotify link in the YouTube video, and we'll definitely be posting about Josh's podcast on our story, trying to give you guys opportunities to listen to that as well. But until next time, we love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye-bye. God bless.